Thank God the Falcons won, or it had the potential, even coming in, we all knew it had the potential to be just a terrible day in Atlanta sports. And if you're an Atlanta sports fans, you know how these days typically go. So thank God the Atlanta Falcons were able to pull a rabbit out of their hat, because the Atlanta Braves lose 9-0 to the Dodgers. And this game's 9-0, and you're thinking, oh, like, what could you really have done? Well, momentum of the game, you can never understand how it's going to affect the game. And the Braves lost this game in the first 4 innings because they had runners on third with nobody outs in 3 out of the 4 innings. They had a guy thrown out at home, and they can't get a guy in. And it goes back to the same thing that Chipper Jones was talking about a week ago, how it drives them crazy, how guys aren't willing to just go out there and get an RBI, just knock the guy in, hit a fly ball, do things that you were taught in Little League to do that have escaped this game in this home run or bust game. And the thing is, that was fine for the Atlanta Braves last year. That's been fine for the Atlanta Braves when they've had this loaded offense and they can score 7 runs, and talent is eventually going to rise to the top. They don't have those guys. I mean, hell, last year, every guy in the lineup hit 20 home runs. I don't know if they have 3 this year. I mean, it's Marcell Ozuna, Matt Olson. I'm pretty sure that's it. Like, they got 2 guys that have 20-plus homers. Outside of those 2 guys, everybody should be trying to do the little things and winning games 4-3, because that's how we've won games. And it blows my mind how poor this team not only just hits. It's one thing to see 0 for 12 with runners in scoring position. It's another thing to see 0 for like 20 in opportunities where a guy's sitting at third base with less than 2 outs and you can't get him in because you're striking out on bad pitches and swinging at bad pitches.
That's the worst part is the approach.
0 for 12 in running and scoring position actually doesn't do how bad last night justice.
I agree. I agree completely that it is bad. Like, there is no justifying the fact that you couldn't push over one single runner. I mean, the Ramon Laureano triple, I laughed and joked. I was like,
no way they do this again.
Yeah, surely. And they do. And again, it has not, again, I'm not trying to to make it worse, is the approach is awful. The approach as if, nothing is really on the line. Let's swing for the fences. And Anthopoulos has built this roster for home runs, for the long ball. They tied the Twins record last year. And again, I understand that, analytics, whatever the argument may be, that's all fine and dandy, except you got a bunch of bums in this lineup. You got a bunch of bums who've been DFA'd because they sucked in their previous stop. And the fact is you're right. You're a nobody, buddy. Why don't you just do the little things and just be a little cog in this big old machine and just get somebody across the plate? It seemed, and no. And this isn't even about the Ramon Laureanos or the Ursulas or the Whitmerfords or anybody who I am talking. It's even the Braves, quote unquote, superstars. Marcell Ozuna is slumping now. Like, Matt Olson's got to do his job. Like, I get Marcell Ozuna's power has virtually disappeared. So when that happens, Chipper Jones is right. Just do your job. Just go oppo if you need to. Just get a guy across plate. Take, God forbid, bunt. I hate bunting, but God forbid somebody do something positive for this team. And tomorrow tonight we're going to go out and score 7 runs, and they're going to fool us again. And then the next time we're going to get shut out again. And the same old is going to happen. And it's that Mets series that's in next week that we're going to be looking at. And if this team does that same exact kind of stuff, we're going to lose.
Yeah, I mean, it boggles my mind simply because, the formula for this team to win is simple. Score 4 runs. Like, you score 4 runs, you're going to win 75% of your games with this pitching staff, and they've shown it time and time again. They lose this game 9-0. They put in their bum relievers at the end of the game. But Max Fried had six innings, 3 runs. They got 3 runs on 4 hits. Like, look at the Dodgers. And I get the Dodgers have a better lineup, but they're also just playing ABC baseball. They're getting guys in different ways. They're putting pressure on the pitcher and succeeding in those situations. And the Atlanta Braves have been one of the worst teams in runners in scoring position all year. You go look at the teams that are below them in terms of batting average with runners in scoring position. I bet you there's not even one single playoff team. And if there is, there probably is one of them. I mean, it's been terrible. And like I said, it's beyond just getting hits with runners in scoring position. It goes to just getting a guy in from third base. Like, this is a virtual must-win game. Like, sure, the Braves can still make the playoffs, but every single game from here to the end of the season is, hey, we need to do everything we possibly can. And God forbid you get into the postseason when the pitching you face is going to be way more difficult than you are on a night-to-night basis. You're going to be trying to score 3 runs, and you're going to be trying to win games 3-2 and relying on the backs of your pitching staff. And they've shown you time and time again they're capable of winning games that way, but you got to do your job. We're not asking you to get 7 runs. We're asking you to get 2. We're asking you to get 3. May, God forbid, get 4. But every time you have a runner on third base and he doesn't score with less than 2 outs, it's borderline unforgivable. It really is. Like, you have got to find ways to get those guys in. And I don't want to hear the pitching is too good, because people used to do this all the time. Change the approach, fix something.
Yeah, I mean, there is no excuse. Well, there could be an excuse if it happened once in a blue moon. It is happening seemingly every night,
multiple times.
And that's the issue, is that this has been a constant issue for the entire season. It's not only a small sample size where it was, oh, the Dodgers pitcher was just on that night. No, Chipper Jones is right. Chipper Jones is a Hall of Fame hitter, maybe the greatest hitter, pure hitter this game has ever seen. And he is telling you what you're doing wrong, and you're still not changing it. And obviously he's not a coach this year, or he's not on staff with the Braves this year, but it seems like bringing the guy in as a consultant maybe just work, because also it's not like he's going up to Ronald Acuna or all of our guys who are here for 10 plus years and changing their approach. We're talking about stopgap guys who aren't going to be here, who might be out of the league next year. Ursula, Whit Merrifield, these guys, it doesn't matter if Chipper Jones goes in there and goes, do this, do that. Yeah. Like, who cares?
But at the end of the day, I mean, this is something that they struggled with in the last 2 postseasons. I mean, they lost games.
Well, I was going to say
games to the Phillies in the postseason with their stars there, because they were trying to hit home runners with runners on second and third and less than 2 outs, rather than just going and getting the guy in. And they would lose games by 1 run consistently. I mean, listen, I understand it's the era of baseball, and we're going to pull our hairs out trying to change it, because it's not really going to change. But especially with this team, everyone, it has to be a collective team.
Look in the mirror. Know yourself.
Matt Olson,
know your
Marcell
personnel.
Ozuna, because guess what? Marcell Ozuna, Whit Merrifield may not be able to get that guy in. So I'm going to need you to get that guy in when you have the opportunity. I don't care if you get out doing it. And I know you're the home run guy and you're the big slugger, but I'm going to need you to take a little selfless approach. Matt Olson, even our bigger guys that you're expecting that actually can hit home runs. I'm going to need everyone collectively as a team, because when Orlando Arcia is up there, I'm expecting him to strike out because the guy sucks. So I need you, Marcell Ozuna, in those situations to come through, because like I said, we're not looking for 10 runs. We're not looking for 7 runs. We're looking with this pitching staff can win with 4 runs. If we didn't have a good pitching staff, I'd be like, yeah, go try to hit home runs, because we need 7. Yeah. We don't need them. We need 3. We need 4. You win 4. Like I said, you win 75% of the games with this pitching staff. They have got to figure out. I mean, if I was Brian Sticker, I'd be like 4 runs. Find a way to get 4 runs. I would be implanting it in their heads. Like, you don't need one swing of the bat. It can't give you 4 runs, but if you're wasting all your other opportunities doing it, we need 4 runs, and it needs to be a team approach, and it needs to happen now. Like, I need everyone to do this in this lineup, where the Atlanta Braves are going to miss the postseason for the first time since 2017, and there's really no doubt about it.